What's up, everybody? This is your dad with a plan here, MetFan82 with Sfidonian Gaming, doing a review on SnowRunner today. And I gotta say, right off the bat, it is a pretty good game. If you like any kind of trucking and simulator type style games, you might want to pick this one up. And I'm just going to start off with saying that this has been a major improvement on Mud Runners. The last game made by Spin Tires. I think that's the developer. I know it's published by Focus Home Interactive. I think they also made or published for the Farming Simulator franchise. So I guess they do simulators, but yeah, like I said, it's been a pretty good game. Drastic improvements from Mud Runner. I mean that wholeheartedly. The color scheme in Mud Runner, like I was actually telling one of my friends, is gray. It's mainly gray. You're going to see mainly gray through Mud Runner. And if you don't care about visuals, that's fine. But also the other thing about Mud Runner is there wasn't any currency system. There wasn't any other things to do other than go get logs or get vehicles stuck or unstuck. You can only bring 3 of your own vehicles and then whatever vehicles were already on the map. So yeah, like I said, drastic improvements here. And then when even in Mud Runners, when you delivered the logs, you got points that did nothing. So yeah, that was great. So, starting with the vehicles in this game, and it's all American, well, not all American, but mostly American name brand vehicles when you're in North America, and then you can also get European vehicles when you go outside of North America. So, which is pretty great. And you can bring them back and forth, but you can't buy them. You can't buy European vehicles while you're in North America. So that's a pretty realistic aspect of it, really. I mean, I guess you could do that, but it'd be probably pretty pricey. Most people don't do that. The other thing is the gearbox and the upgrades you can get for it. You have a high gear now, and then also a low, minus, low, plus, depending on your gearbox setup, which is great. And then there's an actual neutral. I imagine a lot of that's also got to do with if you got a steering wheel. But the big draw to this, in my opinion, is the upgrades to trucks that you can have. You can do the basic things like you think you would be able to do anyway, like change your tires for highway, all-terrain, mud, or ice. I know in the video I don't show much ice, and that's mainly because I wasn't recording when we went to the snow area. So there's that. Yeah, the upgrades have been pretty great. You can get the different tires. You can also get a snorkel. And you can get frame add-ons, which is a big part of it. You can get a flatbed on the back of your truck, or you can have a high saddle or low saddle for the semi-trailers. You can also get engageable all-wheel drive and differential locks. If you don't know what differential locks is, that makes all your tires on your vehicle spin at the same rate. All-wheel drive, obviously, all the tires will work. Yep. 2 different things there. You can also get off-road vehicle that always have differential lock and all-wheel drive activated. Those are usually gas guzzlers. A big part of the game I've noticed is weight. So if you're driving normally with no trailer or any cargo, you're going to get better gas mileage, and that's just like how it would work in real life. Especially when it comes to semi-trailers and loaded semi-trailers. There's also a pretty good damage system there. Before, basically, your truck had so many points. As soon as those points got to 0, the vehicle stopped running. Now the way it works is each individual item on your truck can get damaged. Your gas tank, your transmission, engine, tires, and I'm pretty sure that's it. Suspension. So, and then when things get damaged, your vehicle will actually act different. A friend of mine damaged his gearbox so bad that every time he tried to use a low gear or a high gear, it would shift back into neutral for no reason. Nobody knew why. I'm pretty sure it's because the gearbox was broken. So that's pretty cool. The other cool thing about the weight is you can feel it in every truck and how differently it handles in the steering wheel. There's also tons and tons of settings for your steering wheel to make things smoother or not so smooth, depending on how you like to play. If you like to play slow or you try to play fast. I try to play fast, so it was better for me to take all of the settings down all the way, and then turn the wheel sensitivity all the way up, and then turn your stick sensitivity up just a little. And that was like the perfect setup for me. So that worked out. But when you first start the game, things feel definitely a little slow. And that's in the controls, which is mainly your steering wheel, and then your just moving around the map, because since you don't have any upgrades, getting through mud can be really tedious. So best advice is to try just to stick to rocky areas at first, which is still kind of hard to do, but you can also kind of go around larger structures, or not really structures, but larger rocks or trees, and that ground will be more stable than just taking the direct road. There's that. The game doesn't really hold your hand through anything. There's contracts you can go. There's a tutorial to play, but it's very short and not very in depth because they probably figure most people just want to jump right into the game. So there's also structures in the game. If you get the DLC, you can dismantle them and things like that, which I haven't even really played with yet. But for the base game, I know everything pretty much about it. There's cargo all throughout the map, and then there's a station basically for each type of cargo. If you would need metal beams, you would say go to the warehouse. I think metal slabs would be like the quarry or something like that, and everything kind of works in that way. I think even different warehouses can carry different items. So at first, you don't really have to do much for that. There's maybe 2 or 3 bridges to build, and then that's most of the things you can build in that section of the map, in the first map. Once you get to the next section, or I think it might even be the section after that, you actually have to start getting resources and building. You have to build your own garage and also help get the surrounding area built up. So I thought that was kind of cool, how your actions do affect the world in a big way if you do a lot of work. So I thought that was one of the things that was missing completely from the first game. Some of the downfalls is it can be pretty repetitive and, like I said, slow at first. But if you like simulation or trucking, and like I said, when you watch the world change around you, that is great too. But if you enjoy those things, you probably don't care about the repetition. And there's a lot of different, there's a mud section of the map, rocky sections, and then you can also move on over to Alaska, which is your ice, and then you can get chain tires and ice tires. There's a lot of truck upgrades, especially for different regions, and different trucks for different regions, which I thought was a cool aspect. But that's the main downfall, and they didn't really do much for a crane system, I would say. Basically, most of the cranes, except for a log handler, is basically a winch on a stick. I mean, you basically kind of, which I guess is realistic to an extent, but yeah, I'm pretty sure they would just have like a bigger crane do it or something. I don't know. Other than that, yeah, pretty great game. Lot to do. Not everything is always so clear right off the bat. The UI is, everything is built in the map. Yeah, so basically you're going to be spending a lot of time in the map, because that's where you can accept contracts, tasks, track tasks, untracked tasks, and you can also set waypoints to guide you down each individual road. And the map is pretty detailed. You can rotate around it, and it will basically show you the position of every tree, telephone pole, house, everything on them, just on your map. So that is something that's pretty great. But all in all, has been a pretty great game. Just by the fact it's the way, the sounds, and which also brings me to one last thing: mods. It has mods, and there's lots of them, and they're all actually pretty great if you want to make the game easier. But the other thing is they're also expensive, because that's one thing I forgot. There's a currency. So now that there's currency, you do work, get paid, and you can buy bigger and badder trucks, and that's how you buy your add-ons and your mods for your vehicles. So that part's pretty awesome to an extent, because there's no sandbox mode. I think that's one thing that they should have, is a sandbox mode. I think the sandbox mode would be a little bit of a bigger attraction for people who don't want to come back and play this game like every day, or maybe just don't have time to do every map, because I mean, you got to progress a little before you get to icy maps and things like that, because you have to, not only do you have to buy it, but you have to get to a certain rank to buy certain things. So you have to be like a rank 7 to get all-terrain tires for certain vehicles. And like I said, the game does not tell you much right off the bat. So either way, that's it for this video. There's a little bit more of the video if you want to see more gameplay of it, or I'll see you later. But like and subscribe, and I hope I see you in the next one. Enjoy. Peace.